I'm gonna go through everything you guys need to know about Season 4 DLC for Cold War Zombies, Berlin, the second Outbreak Easter egg, new Wonder Weapon leaked gameplay to go through, new perks, field upgrades, and a bunch of other zombies content. If you guys can, leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. We're getting close to 79k on the channel, so I really do appreciate all of the support, guys. Seriously, means a lot. Let's start off here with some release date information. Season 4 is expected to release on Thursday, June 17th, only 2 weeks, 1 day from recording this video. That is really soon. I mean, Season 3 flew by in my opinion, and in 2 weeks, we're going to be playing this new season, which should have a ton of new zombies content, a lot more than Season 3 from what I'm seeing here. That's going to be really sick. At the beginning of Season 4, we know for sure we're getting the Outbreak main Easter egg, Part 2. We'll talk more about that later on in this video, and we could be getting a bunch of other Zombies DLC additions as well. The DLC Perk might release at the beginning of the season, new field upgrade, other stuff like that. But again, we'll talk about that later on in the video. Now, as for Berlin, we know the map has to release after both Outbreak Easter eggs take place, just based on the storyline. Craig Houston already told us that, so that means guaranteed Season 4 Reloaded Berlin is finally releasing, and that date is expected to be Thursday, July 15th. And if you look at it based on past DLCs, Berlin is releasing on time because Treyarch considers Berlin DLC 3. Firebase Z is DLC 1, DLC 2 was Outbreak, and Berlin is DLC 3. So Grad Krovi for DLC 3 released in July as well. A bunch of the past Treyarch zombie maps released in late June, early July. We're on track here for a normal DLC season. I don't mind that at all. I like Outbreak, but a lot of people aren't really happy with that because it seems like we're getting maybe one less round-based map in this game. But overall, if Berlin's a fun map, and the last map is fun as well, I don't think it's that big of a deal. But those are the release dates here for the main two zombies updates in my eyes, the Outbreak main Easter egg and Berlin. As for the other minor updates, the new Wonder Weapon, the DLC perk Double Tap, some other stuff as well, those could be either Berlin or the Outbreak main Easter egg. I think the Wonder Weapon is most likely with the Outbreak Easter egg. Double Tap most likely will be with Berlin, just like Tombstone released with Firebase Z. But again, we'll go through some more details on that in a couple of minutes. Let's start off here with Berlin. Now, Berlin is a really interesting map. We've been talking about this for several months now, and let's get straight into what I find are the most interesting aspects of what we know about Berlin right now. These calling cards that we've been seeing give us a really good idea as to what the vibe, the atmosphere, what Berlin is going to look like. These calling cards are sick. So the first one here gives us a really good look at the color scheme and style that we could see for this map. Very similar vibe to what we saw also in the D Machine intro cutscene with Samantha Maxis talking to Weaver. This also takes place in Berlin, and a lot of people are saying, I know the Game Revolution also mentioned this a while ago, that maybe this exact location in this intro cutscene will be a playable area in the Berlin map, which I could definitely see as well. It also fits the vibe and is very similar to the color scheme and style we see in the Berlin campaign mission in Cold War as well. We know that in the past, Treyarch always has used different parts of the campaign in zombie maps. We know recently Firebase Z's spawn room was actually ripped from the campaign of Cold War. For Berlin, we could definitely see at least a small portion of this campaign, or at least some of the assets of the campaign mission in Berlin being in this zombies map very soon. So really cool there. No problems with that whatsoever. The vibes are sick. I would love for them to bring back the exact vibes of the campaign mission. The rain, it's at nighttime. All of that would be so cool for a zombies round-based map in this game, in my opinion at least. This next calling card here, first of all, is really cool looking, but also fits with what we've been talking about Valentina supposedly bringing back old World War II German soldiers. I'm not going to say the name. It's the certain faction you guys know from the Dark Aether to help complete the Germans' original plan to win the war back in World War II in the 40s. We've gone through so many pieces of intel that hints at this very plot unfolding in Berlin, at least in some type of way. It seems like this intel dating all the way back to the beginning of Die Maschine is foreshadowing some type of new German involvement in this Dark Aether story. And Craig Houston has also said very recently that this storyline is going to take a new turn, and it's not just going to be about Requiem versus Omega. There's going to be a whole nother element into play. The other characters are going to take bigger roles here. I really think Valentina is going to be that character that has a much bigger role and she'll be bringing a whole new element to the storyline with the German World War II soldiers from the Dark Aether in Berlin, and we'll see what unfolds with that very soon. But storyline aside, this calling card really matches the color scheme and looks super, super cool. I'm not saying this is a direct image of Berlin, but this could definitely be something we see unfold in Berlin. The main World War II soldier, the leader of them back in the day, him being a final boss, some type of boss in Berlin. You have this reactor room with all this Dark Aether energy. It looks really cool, and hopefully there are some type of similarities here once we actually get Berlin. And there are other calling cards here. I saw these last two. Actually, someone sent this to me on Twitter, one of my viewers. I saw this originally from DK Dynamite, so shout to him. This one here could be relating to Berlin. You have some type of skyline in the background. Also could be maybe New York. That was a map we've been talking about that potentially could be one of the round-based maps, or Die Rise remade could actually be in New York instead of in China like it was in BO2. But if we're looking at this from a Berlin lens, this could definitely be Berlin. I mean, Berlin has a skyline. We'll see very soon. It could definitely be a teaser for that. Now, as for the boss, the giant in the middle of this calling card, he is not referenced anywhere. I mean, there are other references to giants in the Dark Aether, most likely some type of Dark Aether creature. But is this the boss we're going to see in Berlin? Maybe. I do know, and I want to mention that back in Die Maschine, we had a bunch of different Easter eggs of Elder Gods roaming outside of the map. The Elder Gods were referenced and teased in the Die Maschine intel documents as well. There was a lot of stuff with these Elder Gods, and that was directly foreshadowing them being added into Firebase Z as the Orda, and also being added to Outbreak as the Orda as well. So they could very well be foreshadowing and hinting at the next major Dark Aether boss in Berlin right here in this calling card. So definitely keep that in mind. Another hint to the Berlin Zombies map in Cold War right now is actually the U-Bahn gunfight map that was a part of Onslaught Containment, only available for PlayStation, unfortunately. This map, as you're seeing in the background gameplay, really gives me Berlin vibes. Of course, it takes place in the subways of Berlin, and I don't know, man, I could really see a small portion, or maybe this entire gunfight map, being added to Berlin, or being a part of Berlin in some type of way. Whether it's an area only used for the Easter egg, it could be the pack punch room, maybe it's just a little connector from two different portions of the map. You go under the streets, you go into the subway, get some parts to build a wonder weapon, whatever it is. This really just gives me Berlin vibes, and I really wouldn't mind seeing this a part of the actual Berlin map, because this map is really cool. Definitely was my favorite Onslaught Containment map to play, and hopefully a part of it is actually added to the Berlin Zombies map. Now finally here, Berlin, a Kino Remake, a part of this map. A very credible leaker back in September 2020, before Cold War Zombies was even revealed, told us that ZM_Platinum would be some type of Kino Remake in Cold War. That also is the same code for the Berlin Zombies map. That same leaker gave us a bunch of correct information on all different parts of Die Maschine, the perks, the field upgrades, pretty much everything in Zombies. He got correct, so he definitely wasn't just making stuff up there. And the Human Revolution also pointed out that in the menu of Cold War Zombies, there's a red marker on this map on the TV screen, and that brings you to a specific TV tower in Berlin, which happens to be right outside the Kino Toten map. Either this is a crazy coincidence or a pretty good teaser at Kino playing some type of role in this Berlin map. So we have in-game evidence for Kino being a part of it. We have the credible leaker telling us that Kino might be a part of it. Now, what are the options? What are the actual realistic possibilities for Kino being a part of Berlin? The first one here, a small portion of Kino is remade and added to Berlin. It could be just the movie theater room, the alleyway, the spawn room, or other parts of the map. Similar to Die Maschine, a majority of the map are made up of new areas to explore, with a very small portion being the remade area. The second option is a small portion of Kino is remade, and it's added to Berlin, but it's only accessible through some type of side Easter egg, similar to Firebase Z's Coffin Dance Easter egg, where you teleport to that dark room. Or maybe to pack a punch on Berlin, you have to teleport to the OG pack room from Kino, which would be really, really cool. Or maybe the boss fight could take place on the remade portion of Kino. But in this case here, in all of these cases, the remade portion isn't a main part of the Berlin map. The third option here is that Kino could be remade and seen outside of the map and teased to us, but it's not fully playable. That would be kind of annoying, but also kind of cool as well, because if it wasn't meant to be a part of Berlin, and if Treyarch just didn't want Kino to be a part of this new map, having that little callback to Kino would be pretty cool to see, in my opinion. Let me know down below, how would you want Kino to be remade into this game? Another possibility here is that they could do what they were supposed to do with D Machina. The leaks told us that once you completed the D Machina Easter egg, you were supposed to unlock a standalone Nocturne Toten survival map separate from D Machina, but they scrapped it at launch. That would have been really cool to see, and maybe they could do it with Berlin, where if you complete the Berlin Easter egg, you actually get a separate Kino standalone survival map, and it's just the movie theater room, or maybe it's the entire Kino map. That would be probably one of the coolest things they ever did, and probably would also increase the overall completion rate of Berlin's Easter egg, because a lot of people would just want to unlock that Kino Remake map. Even if you don't want Kino to return, if you knew that if you completed the Easter egg, you would get a small Kino Remake, you would definitely go for it. So let me know your opinions on that down below. That last idea, probably not as realistic, but again, it would be really cool to see. Now let's talk about the wonder weapons we could see in Season 4. First, we'll talk about the Outbreak wonder weapon, and second, we'll talk about the Berlin wonder weapon. The first one here, the Mega Barrel wonder weapon. You're going to see some gameplay up on screen. It shoots boss zombie projectiles. You have 4 to 5 different gun variants. The methods of firing are through a pistol, a shotgun, an assault rifle, but that's just because the full wonder weapon model hasn't been released into the game. So the final wonder weapon obviously is not going to be just an XM4 that shoots out boss zombie projectiles. That's just what we have in the game right now to showcase the methods of how this wonder weapon works. But pretty much here, the different abilities are, we have the micro missile from the Panzer that launches the Panzer canister, the Giga laser from the Mangler that shoots the Mangler arm cannon blast, the copycat from the Mimic, which could make you kill the boss and just get their ability. That's just a theory. The other one here, the diffusion beam from the Tempest, shoots the Tempest ball of electricity you see in Outbreak. And finally, the blazer beam from the Megaton, which shoots the Megaton laser, or a different variation of that. And again, there's still no confirmation on whether or not this is Berlin or Outbreak, but it's very likely that this is the Outbreak wonder weapon, because this wonder weapon takes all of the different boss zombies that are only present on Outbreak and combines them into a single wonder weapon. It just wouldn't make sense to see this on Berlin, since Berlin most likely won't have all of these boss zombies on that map. So that's what we're seeing there for the Mega Barrel wonder weapon. Now for Berlin's wonder weapon, what are we getting? We've been talking about maybe the Thundergun being a part of this map, just based off of the Kino reference here. I personally don't just want the Thundergun to return. I would like, if they did bring this back, for them to have some type of twist on it. Maybe an elemental Thundergun, 4 different variants of the Thundergun that work differently, that are drastically different from the original Thundergun. I want them to do something different, and I kind of want them just to have a new wonder weapon that has never been seen before. But if they do want to have some type of Kino reference to it, and they want to bring back the Thundergun in some type of way, it would be cool to have 4 different elements. Again, I want the wonder weapon to be as different as possible, but maybe still bringing back the Thundergun vibes to the game. And if we do have an entirely new Thundergun with all new abilities, a different look that we've never seen before, I'd be perfectly fine with that as well. If you guys have any theories as to what that could be, leave those theories down below. I'll be sure to talk about them in future videos. Now, if you guys didn't know, there's actually one more field upgrade leaked in the files of Cold War that still has not released in this game. Lightning Lynx is the codename for it, and most likely is the actual name for this field upgrade. We have no information on what exactly this does. We've had this info, we've had this leak for several months now. It was there at launch for Cold War, and again, most likely will be the next DLC field upgrade in this game. I could definitely see this releasing alongside of the Outbreak main Easter egg Part 2 at the beginning of Season 4, and then Season 4 Reloaded, we get the new Perk, and we are overdue for a new DLC perk for sure. We've had field upgrades, ammo mods, but we've only seen one new DLC perk. Now, we've been saying that for every round-based zombies map, we would get a new DLC perk. The problem is, we're running out of time. We're running out of time to see the rest of the DLC perks added to the game. We still have PhD, Mule Kick, and Double Tap. And I don't know if we're going to get 3 more round-based maps, so they have to start releasing these very soon, unless they actually scrap one of the last DLC perks, which would really suck, but I guess there's nothing we could do about that. For DLC 3 Berlin, we're most likely going to get the Double Tap perk. There have been a bunch of different teasers about this recently on the new multiplayer map Diesel. We had some double tap teasers seen there. Codename Pizza, other YouTubers have been talking about double tap being added to the game, and overall I could just see double tap being the next perk added to Cold War Zombies. But let me know down below, would you rather see PhD or Mule Kick added to the game instead of double tap? Let me know. And to go through a potential concept here for double tap in Cold War, we have fire rate of weapons slightly increased. Tier 1, bullets have a 5% chance to stun any enemy for 3 seconds. Tier 2, every other third bullet shot will duplicate into 3 different bullets. Tier 3, increased bullet penetration with a small chance of a bullet to burst inside of an enemy, dealing extra damage. Tier 4, bullets have a 10% chance to stun any enemy for 5 seconds. Headshots have a 15% chance to stun. And Tier 5, any enemies nearby the enemy you're currently shooting at will take 25% of the damage that it's currently taking. So pretty cool concept there. Let me know down below other ideas for the different tiers for double tap. What do you want double tap to do in this game? As for other Outbreak DLC, we're probably also going to get a new map added to the rotation. I would love to see zombie specific maps. A transit Outbreak map would be really cool, but realistically there are a bunch of fire team maps that have still yet to release in this game. Some of the ones are mines, chemical lab, battery, weather station. These will definitely release into the game at some point. I'm not saying all of these will be Outbreak maps, but they will at least be a part of the game in some type of way. There have been some leaked images, gameplay of the Zoo fire team map in the game. Zoo might very well be the next Outbreak map we see as well, also added as a fire team map in multiplayer, so we'll see what happens there. But for the maps, we'll get at least one new Outbreak map in Season 4 at the beginning of Season 4, and then Season 4 Reloaded, I think they'll take a break and just release Berlin. As for the storyline, it's kind of interesting. The Operatia Inversia rockets were launched at the end of the Easter egg. They were going to hit New York and Washington, D.C., but were instead redirected to the middle of the ocean. Now, what exactly is the part 2 of this Easter egg going to be? Why exactly are we going back to the Ural Mountains? What's going to happen here? Are we just completing more operations? Is Weaver coming back here now that Samantha Maxis went behind his back to do all that stuff in the Ural Mountains this time around? Really don't know. I do know for sure the ending cutscene for Outbreak, the next Easter egg, will definitely be a huge teaser and will give us direct references to Berlin. As we know, the Easter eggs at the end of, Firebase Z, D Machina gave us some ideas to what we're seeing in the next map. So we know that the Outbreak Mini Easter egg Part 2, that'll give us some direct teasers as to why storyline wise we're going to Berlin, and maybe show us a little bit of a sneak peek as to what we're doing in Berlin as well. So really cool stuff there. So hopefully we get some good teasers for that. That's pretty much it here for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys did enjoy. Leave a comment down below. Zombies, if you watched the entire video, it is greatly appreciated. Also, let me know, what are you most excited to play in Season 4? Berlin, the second Outbreak Easter egg. Are you excited to use the new DLC perk, field upgrade, other stuff? Let me know. Shout out to the YouTube channel members as always, and I'll see you guys in the next video or live stream. Peace out, guys.